guys, you're watching Cait Straight Up and I am your host Caitlin, and today I'm going to show you how you cook spaghetti squash. Cooking spaghetti squash is actually really simple. It kind of looks a little intimidating because you have this really heavy kind of like football sized squash. I mean, it's super heavy, a little intimidating, but it's actually not that hard to cook. So first step, you're just going to want to slice off the top of that squash. That's one of the hardest part, and then we actually just have to slice it in half. It could be a little bit challenging to get these spaghetti squashes cut in half. They're big, they're bulky, they're slippery, they're kind of a really tough squash. So feel free to call in your husband like I did to push the knife through, or go ahead and just really kind of jam it down in there. Please be safe. You don't want to cut yourself as you're cutting the squash in half, but you just got to get it in half, and then this recipe is easy. So after that, you want to scrape out the center of the squash, and this kind of looks like pumpkin seeds. You want to dig out those seeds because you don't want those in your spaghetti dishes that you make with this spaghetti squash. So just take a spoon, dig it on out just like you were doing a pumpkin. You could actually roast them like pumpkin seeds if you wanted to once they're out, but you just want to dig out all those seeds of each half. Once they're nice and cleared out, we're going to drizzle with a little olive oil, each one, and just add salt and pepper. I know it sounds really easy, and it is. So just a little bit of sea salt over top, and then a little bit of pepper. Once you got your oven preheated to 400 degrees, you're gonna take each side of these spaghetti squashes and put them face down onto your pan. We are then going to cook them in a 400-degree oven for about 50 minutes to an hour. My spaghetti squash took about 50 minutes in a 400-degree oven, and it is perfect and ready for me to kind of fork apart and make into some delicious spaghetti. So you're going to want to just flip them over like I did there and get rid of my mitts. If you cooked it long enough, you should be able to start scraping away at the sides, and the entire squash should pull apart into some long strands of spaghetti squash. At this point, you could add it to your favorite dish. You could throw some sauce on it, but look at that. Do you see that? Perfect spaghetti squash. So at this point, guys, it is time. We are steaming here, but it's time for you to get creative with your spaghetti squash. Add your favorite ingredients. I love having spaghetti squash with some marinara and some shrimp. Throw some veggies in there. Any pasta dish that you love, you can make with this easy spaghetti squash. Just keep pulling it apart. You'll see the long pieces there coming up from the bottom. Couldn't be easier, and it's super healthy. Make sure to subscribe to Cait Straight Up for more recipes and how-tos like this one every Tuesday, and sometimes in between on Thursdays and Sundays. We take requests. I would love to see you guys follow me on Instagram as well, Cait Straight Up Cooking. I'm on Twitter. You can find me anywhere. I love to answer your questions and talk to you, so make sure you do that as well. And other than that, guys, thank you for hanging out with me today, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.